they said. Everybody to the live. We're gonna give it a minute.
What's up? How you guys doing? Long time no see, but you know the situation, work, life, things like that. Same old, same old.
Yeah, a lot going on, but we got some leaked footage today. I mean,
Well,
can we say it's leaked because it's her, like, she was with him at the time. They own the house, so it's not really
yeah,
leaked.
but it wasn't really supposed to go public. So anyway, if you don't know, Louder Than Crowder,
Mhm.
famous YouTuber, has almost 6 million subs, conservative type of comedian, I would say, personality. Very controversial type of person. Recently got a divorce. Divorce started in 2021, and it's been finalized, I think, in April of this year. Pretty much the situation is that this video came out, this video came with the article of the Ring camera footage. It shows very unbecoming behavior from Crowder. This came out about a week ago, I think, and a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people have been posting about their opinions on the video, and I figured we'd talk about it. I don't want to add too much into it. I like to play the video and let people make their decision, and then we'll react and discuss as we go through, and we'll read some articles and go into an open discussion about it. Anyway, let's play it. Oh, you have anything to say, man?
Oh, no, I was going to say, just to remind people, this is for entertainment, and this is our opinions. It should be treated as such. Everybody's going to walk away with their own opinion, and that's it.
Yeah.
A boundary. I do a boundary. No, you just did it. I do a boundary of abusive and cruel. You are not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There's no groceries. I do have
steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect me?
Now, she is about 8 months to 8.5 months pregnant with twins at this particular point.
She's ready to pop, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they only have and they only have one car. This is a man who is a multimillionaire. I don't know why he only has one car, and then now he's trying to.
I think I know why.
Yeah. And right now he's sitting down and he's berating her about taking his car, and you'll see why more.
Other than that, you see love. No. Other than that, no, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you are not.
Then I will ask them to take the car. Would you like me to ask?
Right.
It's not correct, Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't go. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either.
See, that seemed reasonable. This is so stupid. Look at how beautiful your house looks. It looks fucking gorgeous. You have beautiful property, and you even have a beautiful dog. Why don't you get another car?
Well, I mean, like, what's weird to me is that he's like, oh, I'm inconvenienced. I can't go to the gym. I can't go with friends. I can't do. I'm like, your wife is pregnant. She can't even move around properly.
Right?
I mean, why don't you just like, I don't know, have her take the car and you go take the Uber. I mean, or I don't know. You had a contract. You thought it was slave labor, like a slave contract. When I think the Blaze, I think, offered him $15 million, and he wanted $30 million. So
I'd be happy with just $1 million.
I mean, this is a guy who is incredibly rich and could easily take the Uber, and he's just like getting into this argument, like this kind of petty argument. And you notice like she's getting more and more frustrated and stressed out. And I don't think that's a proper thing. No. Luckily, I think the twins were delivered. Everything's good with them.
Yeah.
But it just seems it's a very interesting look inside the household a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, this is just it seems very,
It's a
Petty.
control thing. I think the reason why, I mean, your wife is about to have twins. You're about to have twins. There's only one car. This is why I think it's my opinion is that this is a control issue, and if he has one car, it's better control
Oh,
on where
good.
she's going.
People don't know who this person is, so I'll explain.
Yeah,
This person is louder than Crowder. He's been on the YouTube for many, many years. He is a conservative, hard to say comedian, and he's kind of like goes with very, very, I would say, provocateur of comedy. And he also says some very weird opinions, just to say. One where he basically proclaimed that no one rapes ugly people, basically, and that you only rape people based on looks.
he's one of those.
Yeah, and doesn't quite understand the concept of control. I remember I saw him reenact. He had a hired policeman reenact Trayvon Martin on himself, where he had the fake police officer do the same thing to him to see if it wasn't that bad. And he also pushes the whole thing that he was on drugs and that was why he died.
You talking about George Floyd or?
I mean, George Floyd. Yeah,
Okay.
George Floyd. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good.
George Floyd. He does a lot, and he's famous for Change My Mind, where he gets like a table, sits it down, and then he just kind of sparks a debate with random people. And sometimes they're interesting when they're civil, but usually he likes to kind of get under people's skin to get like a good reaction for his videos. And it's like, some people will curse at him. He'll go into a debate. He'll misgender people when there's like trans people purposely. And sometimes, that type
Very
of deal.
conservative guy.
Yeah, he does that. And a lot of people on the conservative side also don't like him a little bit because of his personality. Like there's people on the conservative side who just didn't like his personality and how he acts, because not all conservatives are cool with a lot of the things he's done. But he's on the platform. And listen, I don't think he's done anything wrong on the platform. But this goes into, this leak kind of reveals a lot about him and his personality. So yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
He has like 6 million subs, and he he's like, type of, just basically a comedian / conservative commentary.
He's a
guy.
male chauvinistic.
Well, that's your opinion, but I mean, like, I think
obviously
he is too.
it's obviously my opinion. But yeah, this video confirms it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to play devil's advocate.
I
for
mean,
this gentleman.
literally, she divorced him, and
she claimed.
Well, hold on, divorced him, and his big thing is like, you can get a divorce in Texas, but I just wish it was, two people have to agree on the divorce. So basically, he's saying that. Just
jumping a little ahead.
Out.
You're jumping a little bit ahead to the
Well,
response.
no, I'm giving them. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was planned on the roster.
Yeah, that's on the roster.
Yeah, just say he's a dick. He's a fucking dick.
That's Tony's opinion. I think
I'm not going to keep saying opinion all the time. Everybody
opinion.
knows.
Don't sue us, Crowder. Don't sue us.
This is an
You'll be
opinion.
back when you're back. You're not either.
I don't want to be financially fucked, Crowder. Don't sue me. Sue Tony.
I
don't
understand the
care.
difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back, coming back. The only way out of it is discipline and respect. If the only way out of it, then we're at an impasse.
We are at a good pass.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline and respect. Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand,
Disciplining
you give up
his
so
wife.
I don't
easily.
give up Stephen.
Hillary,
Stephen,
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at an impasse. Okay, I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get.
Yeah. So one of the reasons for the divorce is that she claims mental abuse from Steven Crowder. You notice his reaction is pretty telling when she says your abuse is sick, and he gets very defensive. Also, I've noticed that he demanded she have discipline and respect, where he doesn't show discipline and or respect to her.
Obviously not, because he has a penis.
No, not that. It's just that
You're
the guy.
telling me his mentality isn't for his wife to have discipline and respect.
Well, you're generalizing a little bit. Not everyone with a penis is not going to act like Stephen
Well,
Crowder.
no, I'm just saying him. I said him.
Yeah.
Him.
I think he's like, I don't know. I mean, like he kind of reminds me of Cartman. Respect my authority, and he doesn't quite like think to himself, like like listen, it's a give and take in the relationship. She's carrying my 2 unborn children. Maybe I'll feed the dog medication and go to take an Uber. I think that's a pretty fair trade off.
Yeah. Who would want their pregnant wife to catch a ride with somebody or take an Uber? I would be like, you take the car, I'll take care of things here. We rarely have the money for me to take an Uber, so have at it there.
I'm just like noticing this dog just staring at them like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? The dog's probably, it's probably, just funny. Let me see. How you doing, Kimberly? Change my mind. Yes, he does the change your mind thing. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're interesting to change your mind. I remember I seen like the early days of him, but sometimes he just does it to be a dick and just get a reaction from people. Kind of like a Jerry Springer thing.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, pity. That's one guy I used to watch a lot, Jerry Springer.
And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. Right in task. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to engage anymore. I'm going to go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed to those things?
I'm not trying to.
Are you committed?
Why he's telling her to put on gloves is because she wants her to feed the dog, I think, medication. And it's not really good for her to handle the medication barehandedly since she's pregnant. So he wants his pregnant wife to handle medication to give to the dog, even though she has to put gloves to use it.
Why can't he's just sitting there and arguing all that time that he could have been doing it for her? Like, why does he expect her to do everything? Is the other thing. He's just sitting there smoking a cigarette or something.
A cigar.
But yeah, obviously.
Gotta make it fancy cigar.
All those asshole men out there like Andrew Tate and his like little crew, they all cigars. Like, calm down.
I don't know. I never smoked. Never had a thing for smoking. I wouldn't waste my money on cigars. But yeah, I mean, you are correct. He could have easily got up, gave the dog the medication, could have ordered the Uber, could have gotten dressed, could have done a bunch of things. Could have offered to drive his wife, go with his wife and drive her, and then they can all make like kind of a situation where they both together, making sure his wife doesn't get into any unnecessary stress. Just seems like a lot of work for fighting. It seems like he's taken his job being argumentative into his personal relationship. And like this works when you're on your job and you're arguing with randos on the streets or randos on the internet, but like it doesn't really work quite well with your wife or your family because you get into situations like this. It's very interesting. What do you think?
Sticky. Yeah, I mean, and I do believe that's his mentality about the whole entire thing. He's the man in that. Like, I'm thinking about my ex-wife, who I love dearly. She's a great woman. But if I ever got into an argument with her and said, well, you need more discipline, do you know how fast my ass would be on the ground?
Absolutely. But
I can't believe
But you know what I mean? He's not disciplined. It's like, listen, man, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Because he's a man, he doesn't have to think. This is his mentality.
Yeah, that's his
He's a
mentality.
man,
That's,
he
but you
doesn't
know,
need discipline.
but like, this is a very shitty discipline he's showing here. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's definitely in there.
Do those things, you're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to it. Walk the dogs, put on some gloves.
I need
Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you
I-
committed enough to do those things?
I,
Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm good.
Walk the dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs? No, you take that in.
As the Crowder heading inside, Stephen gets angrier and angrier, and by his own admission, screams, "quote I will fuck you up," end quote, at his pregnant wife Hillary, who then flees their home. Okay, so let me see. In the article, this article has some other things. All right, so the article claims that I'll skip the front because that's the video showed.
Yeah.
Neither Hillary nor Stephen Crowder is contending that there was physical abuse in their marriage or sexual infidelity. And in audio files and text messages I reviewed, Stephen Crowder admits to some of his faults, which includes a volcanic temper repeatedly and at times regretfully. But according to sources I spoke to who are familiar with their relationship, Stephen Crowder admissions often came after a sustained period of mental emotional abuse, and he did seem to be able to control his impulses. This story is based on the conversations with multiple sources, none of whom would speak to me unless they were granted anonymity. Oh my God, I'm speaking like Prayer Garden here. I'm going to have clips about me. I also reviewed text messages, extensive audio files, and personal videos documenting Crowder's marriage. Hillary Crowder was not available for comment or conversation with me on more confidential terms. 2 messages sent to Stephen Crowder via his website requesting comment have yet to be replied to by the time this story was published. If he does not reply or comment publicly about details posted here, this story will be updated accordingly. Okay. If he does, doesn't. If he does. Crowders were married in 2012 after dating for 2 years and being engaged for less than a year. Hillary Crowder filed for a divorce in December 2021 after she learned that her husband had hired a divorce attorney a month earlier. Hillary Crowder welcomed twins via cesarean section in August 2021. Oh, geez, that's tough. Despite her best efforts, her husband was absent when their twins were born. Instead, he met their newborn twins later that day at the hospital. The night before she gave birth, Stephen and Hillary exchanged a series of text messages about separating. The night before she gave birth?
With his type, with how he is and how aggressive he seems, verbally, mind you.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that she did it to full term. With all that stress, that can...
Yeah, that's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stress. The night before she gave birth, Stephen and Hillary exchanged a series of text messages about separating. Hillary sent her husband one of her final texts. Quote, "Stephen, I'm afraid of you and your rage. You are scary. You scare me. I want to heal things, but you have to take responsibility. Stop blaming others. Stop feeling pain and sadness only for yourself," end quote. In the past 2 weeks, rumors of their divorce, which the press had not discovered for over a year, began to spread on Twitter. On Tuesday, Stephen Crowder briefly spoke about the news on his popular show, Louder with Crowder. Crowder said in part, quote, "I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I have been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. And no, this has not been my choice. My then wife," didn't he look for a divorce attorney earlier? Okay. I guess he's just basically pretending that he's an innocent person here. "I have been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. And no, this has not been by choice. My then wife decided she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. She simply wanted out, and the law says that is how it works. It's no one else's fault but my own in that I picked wrong. And that certainly isn't the fault of my children, end quote. Wow, what a fucking statement to say to a lot. Whoa, bro. Like, are you
He's really
serious?
full of himself.
Yeah, that seems like a crazy thing to say to like, like about your wife, who your children are going to watch this live about you, and you say I picked wrong. Well, the kids are going to be like, well, are we a mistake then? You know what I mean? Like, like this is just like a man that just doesn't quite understand the ramifications of his words and what this could happen to his kids in the future. I mean, honestly, he should have just kept it clean and just said, yes, we just divorced. We love each other. We had some differences and that's it. But I guess if he did that, then they probably wouldn't be divorced if he actually took responsibility for a lot of his actions. Crowder bemoaned Texas no-fault divorce laws several times in his statement. No-fault divorce laws allow either party in marriage to get divorced without requiring a cause like abuse, infidelity. It wasn't the first time Crowder had talked about his disgust for such laws. What Crowder didn't mention was that his very private wife, who hardly appears at public events and is rarely photographed, had made a request via her attorney that her husband not discuss their divorce at all. Steven Crowder dismissed that request and spoke about the divorce and their marriage for about 5 minutes in a clip that went viral. In a statement sent to me via email, Hillary Crowder's family said, quote, okay, so my guess is that, okay, so he's talking shit, and then she leaked, let me just go back a little bit. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So basically he spoke and then this video gets released. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Trying to catch you up on your lies and bullshit. Crowder bemoaned, quote, Hillary is currently living alone in Dallas, apart from her family and support system in Michigan, and is focused on taking care of her young children. She is not prepared at this time to speak about her divorce becoming public or the misleading statements made by Steven about their relationship. The truth is that Hillary spent years hiding Steven's mentally and emotionally abusive behavior from her friend's family while she attempted to save their marriage. She was the one who was asking to work on their relationship to keep the marriage intact for their unborn children. In June of 2021, Steven left their home to pursue elective surgery. Hillary urged him to get the help he needed to address his abuse with the hope that their marriage could be saved and they could peacefully live together as a family. Instead, Steven refused to do so and chose not to be with his wife during the birth of their twin children. After the birth, Steven bought a townhouse and left their home permanently. Hillary was unaware that Steven had hired a divorce attorney and asked his assistant to cut Hillary off financially. There is significant documentation substantiating these facts. Whoa, bro. What? Whoa. I've sat through a few divorces, with my job. And this is pretty crazy even for me to listen to. I could tell you some stories, but I can't because it's my job. But this is crazier than what I've sat through, to be honest with you. I could just imagine the depositions these people must have sat through. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Cutting your wife off financially, hiring a divorce attorney earlier on, moving out, not being there for your unborn children.
Hey, Jasmina.
Hi, Jasmina. Wow, this guy is a hoot. And this is a lot of people have been basically commenting about this. I think I was listening to who's that guy? Ethan Klein, right?
Yeah, I was watching him earlier.
Yeah, he's been commenting on him, and he's like, "Yo," I mean, the gist is that Crowder is kind of talks about conservative values. Women have their positions, men have their positions, and a lot of conservative values. But I don't see a lot of conservative men are really against what he's done. There's a lot of people in the red pill community. I've seen comments on Twitter who are like, whoa, this is not a good look, man. there's a lot of people that say this is not a good look. You can't do that to your wife. Even like people who are in the conservative movement would be like, yeah, you're going a little far, mister. These are pretty crazy things you've done to your wife.
And
you know,
it's so publicly out there, like the little sliver of evidence that was shown to the public was kind of like enough. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I mean, but anybody who watches this content and sit back and thinks that this wasn't gonna happen, like you can read a person.
yeah, you're saying that he's kind of fake.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can already tell. You can be like, oh, that's not a happy marriage. Like, but it sucks though, because he wants to financially cut the mother of his children off, who probably
Yeah.
has custody of both of the children. Like, majority.
It's a control thing. I mean, it sounds like a control
obviously,
thing.
yeah. Just like the car. There's no reason why there's not 2 cars.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, this guy can easily afford 5 cars if he wanted to, but he has 1 car because he
It's a
controls
control thing.
who can come in and out.
That's what I said earlier. Yeah. The
moving
reason
to
why-
Dallas, separating his family, like this is just like, separating from friends and family.
This
So
is
you're
pure mental. This is narcissistic behavior.
Well, that's what some people are saying. I can't diagnose people. There's people on YouTube that are better at diagnosing mental conditions, but yeah, this is not good. This does not bode too well for you, Stephen. But
this is the thing, though. When there's an incident like this, it's always 50-50. There's people that are condemning him for it, and then there's people that are supporting him and going, yeah.
Well,
it's always going to be split. It's always going to be split.
There's always going to be idiots in the crowd. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah.
How it is. Then he says, we hope that Stephen will cease speaking publicly about these personal matters in any untruthful manner. Spoiler alert, he's not going to. We also look forward to there being full transparency in the legal process so there is fairness and accountability for the actions that caused the divorce and to ensure the outcome is what is the best interest of the young children, end quote. In the Ring camera video, which was captured in June 26, 2021, so this is kind of like around the time the divorce is starting up, Crowder is angry as he sits in his patio smoking. Hillary Crowder is in a state of motion as she prepares to leave the house. Stephen Crowder insists that Hillary not take their 1 car to run errands as it would keep him housebound, and that she, at nearly 8 months pregnant, should take an Uber. He also berates her for not doing her, quote, wifely duties, like grocery shopping, in the way that pleases him. Tension rises as Stephen gets more agitated. Quote, feeling so constrained, question mark, Crowder said to his wife. Some constraint, question mark. Crowder gets irritated and says that if Hillary, his pregnant wife, takes the car, he can't go to the gym, see his parents, or his friends. Well, that is a problem. You're a problem. That's your problem. Sir.
Okay, it's a control thing. He's making excuses for himself for being an asshole. He's like, well, then do you know how long it takes a woman to do groceries? If for her to go out and do groceries and to get everything that she needs to stock up the house, it could take an hour or 2. You're telling me you can't chill at home for an hour or 2 while you're giving the dog the medication and walking it? You could be doing that while she's doing that. Everything in a household is 50-50.
Or, crazy idea, I know this might be crazy. You could take Crowder could just have an Uber, right? And he could take the dog with him to the grocery shop and walk around with the dog all day. Or he can himself walk the dog for 20 minutes, come back, give the dog the medication and everything, and then order an Uber and jump in the Uber and be slightly inconvenienced. Or he could take his like $20 million or $30 million and go to the dealership and buy another car, and the time it would take me to order a pizza.
See, that's the thing. It's like I always got blamed for babying my ex-wife because whenever there was, something in the house we needed to get, I'll be like, okay, I'll go get it. I'll go do it. But the thing is, though, you have a pregnant, beautiful wife carrying your life inside of her. Why are you being such a dick? She's a woman, so she already has it hard enough. but she's also pregnant. That's a million
With
times
twins.
harder. With twins, so times it by 2. And you're
Yeah.
sitting there lounging around in your
Worry about going
patio.
to the gym. First off, like, why?
Why would you want your pregnant wife to handle a dog to give it medication?
I mean, like, what a ridiculous argument. I need to go to the gym, bro. Order an Uber. Like, that's not life threatening, bro. Like come
you
on.
can't skip a day just so your wife. And she wanted to get out of the house. She's like, I know where this is. Like my perception of it is, she's like, okay, he's reaching that point. He's getting angry. I need to go.
Let's
And he
not
wouldn't
do
let her
it.
go.
Yeah, let's continue. We don't want to do a uni where we just read part and not go. Let's see. Feeling some constraints, Crowder said to his wife. Let me see. The only way out of the discipline and respect. Okay, Hillary Crowder, in an attempt to leave, tells her husband that she loves him and that she's committed to the marriage. Steven Crowder gets angry and suggests that if she's committed to the marriage, she should put on gloves to give his dogs the medicine that his wife was concerned was toxic for pregnant women and walk their dogs. As they headed inside, Crowder got angrier and was, by admission via audio I reviewed, yelling angrily, said, "I will fuck you up." According to both Crowders, Stephen immediately pulled back and realized what he said, but by that point, Hillary was frightened and left the house. In review of the audio, video, and text messages, Stephen Crowder repeatedly admits that he has a volcanic temper and has been working through therapy to control it. However, at one point in one of the audio files I reviewed, Stephen Crowder gets upset because he is frustrated that he is not getting enough credit for not having lost his temper for months, but adds that he can't promise he won't lose it again in the future. Are you a child? Is he a child?
How about this?
Like, what?
This is so stupid. There's clearly a problem in your family right now, in your home with your wife, and apparently the car is the issue. So why don't you just get her a car?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like you're getting a hissy fit. Like, are you like?
Well, yeah,
8
we'll
years
fix
old?
the problem. Well, yeah, you would think, normal adults, if you're in a relationship with someone and there's an argument about who's going to take the car out.
You're not getting my point. My point is that he's like, he wants a pat in the back for not getting a
Yeah,
temper
it's
tantrum.
stupid.
Let me finish. He wants a pat in the back for not having a temper tantrum like a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah,
Like-
that's what I'm saying. But it should be pointed out. He
How
could have
old is
fixed this
Crowder?
at all. I don't fucking know. He's probably in his 30s.
Yeah, Steven Crowder's age, just
Or maybe
35. He's
Yeah.
35 and he acts like that. Okay, bro. Okay, this is what happens.
He missed out on a beautiful family because he's a dick.
Yeah, okay. So it's 2 people who worked for Steven in the past say that, oh yeah, we're going to get into his past where he actually likes to flash people his penis.
Penises.
And,
He has more than one.
Oh, penis. I'm doing a prayer card, guys. I'm sorry. This is just so bad. I'm going to get Tragedy Pimp Exposed. He's gonna literally gonna put every single time I fuck up a word. That's gonna be, and I'm gonna laugh because that's gonna be hilarious. I'll actually laugh at someone doing that.
He's a penises.
Penises. He has more than
he has
one, guys.
He has more than one, but I promise you all, it's the size of a Tic Tac. But
Oh my god, that's hilarious. 2 people who worked for Steven in the past say that he has created a cult-like atmosphere in workplace and is intolerant of dissent. Quote, "You're either fully for him or you're his enemy," end quote. One former employee told me in a conversation on Wednesday in an interview on Michael Malice podcast, Dave Nadeau, who used to be a co-host on Louder with Crowder, said that Crowder had surrounded himself with, quote, yes men, end quote. Lado added about Crowder, quote, "He's become the bully and he doesn't realize it," end quote. Crowder's career in the mainstream conservative media started in Fox News in 2001. 2009. Oh my fucking God.
are you having a moment?
I think I'm having a seizure, bro. It's like I'm reading too long.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Let me read that. Let me start over. Okay. Crowder's career in the mainstream conservative media started at Fox News in 2009, where he appeared as a guest on the program and wrote for Fox News website until he was let go from the network in October of 2013. His show, Louder with Crowder, aired on CRTV and later The Blaze from 2017 through the end of his contract in 2022. Crowder's Crowder's media footprint is substantial on YouTube. His 2 channels have over 7 million subscribers and have garnered over 2.2 billion views in addition. He has millions of followers across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. On the conservative online video platform Rumble, Crowder has over 1 million followers, which is a shit ton on Rumble. In March of 2023, Rumble announced that at least 58,000 people have subscribed to Crowder channel, paying $89 a year each. Whoa, wait, what? You can actually... In March 2023, Rumble announced that at least 58,000 people had subscribed to Crowder's channel, paying $89 a year each. Okay, how much is that? Now I'm curious. That's a lot of money. Let's do the math. Okay, 89, so this is a year, times 58,000. Holy shit. That's $5,162,000 a year just from Rumble. I didn't even know you could subscribe to people. That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
$89 they're paying like a year. 58,000 people paying $89 a year. Holy shit. So that would be mean over $1.1 million, $5.1 million for this particular revenue stream. And the numbers that Rumble shared were in the pre-launch phase. The numbers have likely grown since. Wow. Wow, bro.
Probably now. Let's face this whole entire thing that happened, this whole leak video, if anything, he's getting more people watching him.
Yeah, that's true.
This is bad. This is bad. Like,
okay.
What do they call it?
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Thank you. That. So he's definitely.
Yeah. It's the success. Okay. It's this success and his ideological alliance that led the Daily Wire, the conservative media company, co-founded by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, to make an offer to Crowder in October 2022 to bring his show to their company. The offer was later revealed to be $50 million over 4 years. Crowder would be responsible for his production costs as part of the deal, and Boeing later made it clear that the $50 million was just an initial non-binding offer to start negotiation, that they would have likely paid much more to secure Crowder for their growing list of conservative hosts. Like so many things in his life in recent years, Crowder's temper and paranoia led him to destroy his relationship with Shapiro and Boeing and others at Daily Wire when he posted a video on his channel suggesting that Daily Wire, without naming the company, was attempting to align itself with, quote, big tech, end quote, by mentioning to his initial offer to him that if he was demonetized on social media platforms, that it would reduce his overall compensation. Yes, man. You're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube anymore, you're going to reduce your compensation. And you're on YouTube. You're already aligned with big tech, bro. YouTube is owned by Google. So if you're on a TV show on Google and you get paid by Google, you're allied with big tech. I'm sorry to tell you this, Crowder. You're getting paid by the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
The Daily Wire responded that they couldn't be expected to compensate him at the initial contract rate if they were losing revenue streams they had accounted for as part of the term during his compensation. Crowder responded to a video by Boeing by playing audio from a call he had, unbeknownst to Boeing taped. So he taped the guy secretly. That's a great way to build trust in business relationships. Crowder said that the call with Boeing was only the third conversation with a friend he taped in his entire life. I hate to be the 2 other friends that you taped before, but in the interview with Michael Malice, Crowder's former co-host, Dave Lardo, said that Crowder would regularly tape calls with people without them knowing. So that would make sense why the Ring camera was in the back, because that's a kind of a weird place to put a Ring camera. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it
Kind
is
of
the back.
backfire.
It actually was the perfect place to put a Ring camera because there was a back door.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm saying, like, with all the surveillance cameras, like, he likes to have around. Well, he has a bunch. While it's clear that Crowder is making millions from conservative media and mini empire, it's unclear if he will receive an offer like the one he got from Daily Wire. Team again. Crowder's willingness to publicly destroy the relationship will likely lead other conservative media founders to cautious about getting into the business with him. The self-destructive is not surprising to people who know him, but still shocking given his constant concern with money, according to people who know him well. In reviewing documentary evidence related to their marriage, Steven Crowder appears obsessed with the idea that his wife is only interested in him for money. Hillary Crowder started dating him well before he became famous and wealthy. He was making less than $100,000 a year when they got married, which is pretty good money, actually, but in 2012. But like on April 2022, Crowder was talking on his show about his distaste for no-fault divorce and said, quote, "If you're a woman that comes from a meager means and you want to get wealthy, you've never worked, you didn't get a degree, you have no skill set, but you're good looking, your best path to victory is simply marry a man and leave him and take half." End quote. Okay, I guess this is where he starts souring about divorces because divorce initiated in 2021. So I guess that's probably why he said that.
He's such an angry little man.
Well, he's not little. I think he's 6-something, but you know.
But you know what I mean. Obviously, small dick energy here.
Yeah, probably. By the time Crowder said this, it had been 5 months since he retained a divorce attorney, but his audience was unaware of this move. 6 months later, he would walk away from a $50 million opening offer from Daily Wire. 4 months after the news of Daily Wire offer became public in January 2023, his comments about the proposal led to his destruction of his relationship with Ben Shapiro, Jeremy Boeing, and the public would learn that dispute with the Daily Wire was at least of Steven Crowder's problems. That's a pretty interesting article. That's a pretty damning fucking article. Man, I hope she takes him to I think she took him. Let me see. What was the settlement? Because I think it's done.
Yeah, I think it is too, yeah.
But she's private. Like, she's a private person. Like, she doesn't talk. She really does not say anything. You never really see her at all on the public platforms at all.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I didn't even know this person existed until
I can believe, like, she's just basically met Crowder when he started out and really liked him, and he just, like, was a weirdo, became a weirdo. Okay, let's go. This is his response.
Oh my God, this is going to be great.
Let's see. Has his little gun on the side, his fake gun. Okay, rubber thing. Okay, let's go with this. Let's go.
A proverbial boot on my neck for going on. I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there's no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice.
That is a lie. You got a divorce lawyer. You got the divorce lawyer first. And then she saw what you were doing. So that's a lie.
My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life. What I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. So for well over a year.
What a psychotic... Like, bro, I wish someone could, like, he needs less yes men around. He needs, like, someone to be around and be like, mister, please don't say this. Like, he needs someone like you to just be like there, be like, don't say stupid shit like this. You're fucking...
He needs wranglers, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely needs wranglers. Like, well, I don't really believe, I don't like the fact that they're, like, one party wants to leave the marriage, that they should be allowed to leave the marriage. It's like, okay, mister, that's not a very good situation. Holy fuck, man. That's crazy. Let me see. Really? That's not what we heard you say. Total nut job. Yeah, that's weird. Crowder's the real baby gap. Well, yeah, he can afford it at least. My brothers love Crowder. He has multiple of those stupid mugs. I've been so tempted to drop them all. He lives in my basement, by the way. He lives in your basement. Oh, no. Are you serious? Yeah. No, that's Tony's fish tank. The fish need to live. That's not my fish tank. That's Tony's fish tank. I don't have fishes. You know me. I'm a plant person.
If you hear
well over a
dogs
year,
barking, though, that's definitely Tim.
Yeah, the dog's next
in the
door.
best interest, as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, and what have you, legal jargon. Now, in all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is
This currently has 3.4 million views, so I don't think it's private anymore, mister.
and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long. Many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea,
What is he talking about? The safety of his children?
I don't know. He fucking lost me. I don't fucking get it.
Like, you're getting a divorce, mister. I know it's stressful. I've sat through divorces. It's very stressful. It's very invasive in people's lives, into every single facet of their lives. But children are not in danger in a divorce.
No,
It's
no.
a divorce. It's basically two lawyers sit around and they split the
Yeah.
assets and they say, you get the car, you get the house, you get this, you get that. And then everyone pays the lawyer a bunch of money, their lawyers a bunch of money. Eventually, an agreement is made, and that's it. And the children, and then you get into the custody stuff, and I don't know shit about that. I just.
But this is a thing too when it comes to, parents like this, like I'm saying, like him and her. Normally, for the children's safety is to get a divorce, because you don't want them to witness your rages. You don't want them to witness their mom trying to calm you down all the time. If you get angry like that, fast over a dog getting a medication, oh my God, you have twins.
Yeah.
of extortion,
Extortion.
then you know the feeling well.
Oh my God.
Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Stephen has a lot going on.
Oh, we're gonna watch her response soon. She makes an interesting video about Stephen.
Mhm.
I guess is the best way to say it. He has a
Who
lot.
is she?
And she's a conservative commentator. She's like basically definitely a very conservative commentator, but she does not like Stephen. This is, you know what I mean? I don't agree with a lot of things this woman says, but she's the one that worked with him and been around him. So, might as well let her speak as
So
well.
her opinion is probably going to be very pointed because
Yeah, very pointed. She does not like this man. Let's just say that much.
Going on, and that should be.
As a matter of fact, I believe the title to her video was "Steven Crowder is a monster. Change my mind." So probably doesn't like Steven.
Clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going
Candace
on in their life.
Owens,
I
okay.
would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. Maybe if I feel in further defense, something should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Oh, my children have a right to privacy. Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So
Oh my God! You just know when someone's just going to use their kids kind of like that. I mean, like
As a
Mister.
shield. Don't use your kids as a shield. Just
Like-
accept the L. You fucked up.
Yeah, like
That's
just
it.
say like I didn't want to be publicly embarrassed because my reputation as a conservative. God.
That's the thing. He doesn't understand. We're not talking about your kids. We're talking about you, fucker. We're talking
Yeah.
about you being a horrible, horrible husband.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say horrible. Like, I mean, like it's bad. I mean,
He's a
I'm-
horrible husband.
Okay, it's bad, but I just like when I think of horrible, I'm thinking like someone who just like physically abuses their wife or something.
Well, no, that is a monster.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just like he's a bad husband. Let's just say I have like he's bad.
To those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice.
She wanted something else. You were mentally abusing this woman.
Yeah, she did want something else.
She wanted that to be
Freedom.
couldn't say it better than myself.
She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children.
What? Wait, what? Everything was perfect. What you said until you nobody's going after your children, idiot. Your children are fine. I would be more, and Sticky's right. I would be more worried about his fans.
Yeah,
Going
like
after
why would
her.
you say that? Like what?
Be a man. Don't use your kids as a shield. You're supposed to be shielding them.
And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother. And I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it,
Didn't we just sit through 4 or 5 minutes of you dragging her a little bit? Like, bro.
Oh my god, this guy is
I'm no longer going
so
to pacify,
weird.
capitulate, or sidestep because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record in which I have more than full confidence. So I'd ask that you understand the need for and respect our privacy in what is obviously a pretty tough time. And I hope that none of this has to go any further than that.
It doesn't. He basically says that he's going to release all the pertinent documents about the divorce.
It's so stupid. He's such a hypocrite.
Let me see if this is any different. This is Rumble. Yeah.
I have
Let me see. Okay. So anyway, all right. Let's go with the next one. So we're gonna go to Candace Owens. He's a monster. Steven Crowder is a monster. Change my mind. So she does not like him. Take it the grain of salt. She does
But
not.
she
like
has worked with him in
She
the
has
past.
worked with him in the past, but she does not like him. So, I mean, it is what it is. She did put him in the video, so we got to play her response to him. So, by the way, just because we play a video of someone does not mean we are like 100% behind the person. I do not agree with a lot of shit this woman says,
Mhm.
but we're getting into, she's been mentioned in the video. So just because we play a video does that mean we back them. So I'm just telling you this now. So she might say stupid shit. I do not agree with it.
Breaking news that just happened. And before we get, I want to explain.
Let me see.
to watch, because in this footage, she is 8 months pregnant.
Okay, we gotta go skip the footage because we watched it already. Okay, so
I just want to comment on the footage real quick. If you know, when you're watching it, you notice how the wife's tone, I forgot the wife's name, his wife's, well, ex-wife's tone is very calm and soothing and trying to reassure him, being like, look, I love you, I'm committed to you, but I need to go get the groceries. Like she's really trying. It's like, it's literally calming a toddler down. Hey, Sleuth Mom.
Hey, Sleep, just keep the chat hold for a moment. You keep on talking.
Okay, but that's how I felt the whole entire time. That is a woman walking on eggshells, and no man should have to put any woman, let alone a pregnant woman with twins. Do you get what I'm saying? She was literally trying to calm him down, going, let's reason. Let's, his voice was aggressive. His voice was mean, demeaning. He was, I believe, narcissistic. And he was just mentally abusing her. And I agree. She even said it in the video. This is verbal.
I wasn't around. I wasn't around when Tony was talking the last 30 seconds, so I'm just going to make this right now. I disavow everything Tony says, just in case he says something crazy.
So we all know that that Tim supports supports the opposite of what I just said.
Oh shit!
Let that sink in.
I'm joking. Last time I stepped away did not end too well. Let's just say that much.
Oh yeah.
It became a couple of days issue, but let's just play this one.
Part of that correspondence. The journalist that dropped this video is Yashar Ali. He dropped this as well as a Substack entry accompanying it. On the Substack article, he wrote, moments later, off camera, Steven Crowder, by his own admission.
Let's just jump that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we just trying to get to the part where she talks. Okay, so here is the interesting part here.
And this surgery. So before I show you a matter, I would first like to go back to that portion where she says Steven left their home to pursue elective surgery, because I know exactly what surgery she's referring to, because during my first backstage here at Daily Wire, we actually prayed for Steven and this surgery. So before I show you a clip from us on backstage, here is Steven describing that surgery, and it certainly doesn't sound like it's elective. Take a listen.
I explained to you a little bit what it is. A lot of people say, why are you smoking? My heart is actually great, but my heart doesn't work great. And the reason my heart doesn't work great is, long story short, because of a connective tissue disorder I have, and my chest is caving in on my heart. So I've got I'm at a little more than half of the blood flow that you guys have, ventricular output from my heart. So it's...
For those who don't know, elective surgeries can include cosmetic procedures like removing a mole or a wart, but they can also include more serious conditions like hernia surgery, removing kidney stones, or an appendix and hip replacement. So just so people know.
It's a mechanical fix.
Which part, Kim, are you confused
and
on?
I don't know.
Yeah, just for people in the future.
Maybe I'll feel like Lance Armstrong, like I'm on EPO after this, because I don't know what it's like to go through life with full blood flow. To me, I'm looking forward to it, not looking forward to the pain. Lance Armstrong, by the way, with 3 balls, not the one.
Wait a minute, 3 balls. Okay.
So yeah, it's
at least I'm not the only one. Maybe he does have multiple.
His surgery is basically going to help his blood flow. His chest is concaving, so they have to do a surgery. I don't think that's elective, though. I think that's a medical.
Yeah, I
need
mean,
to get that done. Elective surgeries, like, oh, I'm going to go get a vasectomy, or oh, I'm going to go, get my nose done.
Actually, it's overall a positive thing, and honestly, I've probably needed a little bit of rest. It comes in the form of having my chest cracked open.
Obviously, he had the surgery, and then his lung collapsed, and here is us praying for him, praying that he actually gets better.
Before we leave, I just have to, this went off the subject for a minute. Our pal, Steve Crowder, who makes the best ashtrays in the country.
Truly.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Makes the best ashtrays.
Is that Nick Fuentes?
No, that's Ben Shapiro.
In the middle?
Yeah, that's Ben
Okay,
Shapiro.
that's Ben. Okay, I get them. They all look alike to me. Go ahead.
Well, definitely not. Like, what's funny is Nick Fuentes used to work for Ben, but Ben found out that he was horrible, like racist, and he just got rid of him. Because Ben is kind of like conservative, but like like not crazy conservative. I would say like he's like just a conservative. I would say like
He's
not-
like a Diet Pepsi of conservatives.
Yeah, he's not like crazy like some people, but he's just like basically like lower taxes,
Mhm.
businesses, families, stuff like that, pretty much.
Hospital fighting for his life, and he's really come close. He's come close to the dark edge of things. And I just want to say that crazy as he is, we love him, and we're thinking about him. That we hope he makes it back.
You're a better man than I am.
Well, that's true.
I was actually just looking forward to the show being over so that I could text him and say, hope you don't make it, pal.
Holy shit! What?
Well, I mean,
What? Wait a second. Look at Ben's face. He's like looking at that like, oh my god. Did he just say that? I didn't see this part. What to say to someone who's going through surgery, their lung collapses, on the show ends. We gotta listen to it again. I gotta listen to it.
Back.
You're a better man than I am.
Well, that's true.
I was actually just looking forward to the show being over so that I could text him and say, hope you don't make it, pal.
Actually, this is a real story. Last night I had to go for a drive because
Oh my god, that was amazing. That's hilarious. Very honest. Yeah, he really doesn't like Steve. I think they knew he was lying. Yeah, holy
pure
fuck.
honesty. That's all.
long
it is.
story, but I had to burn down gas to take my car into the shop, and so I was going to smoke a cigar, and I was going to say my nightly prayers.
Oh my god.
'Cause that's the thing to do. Smoke a cigar and then do your nightly.
I thought, I should probably
Yeah.
pray for Crowder, because he's in this. I thought, oh well, what's great? I'm going to light up one of the cigars that Crowder sent me.
Yeah.
And Crowder, this guy who's a complete maniac, he sent me these beautiful cigars, and I was like, oh, pal, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
light
send you
up
some
one of his
cigars right away from
cigars
Maggie
while
Medora.
his lung is
I haven't
collapsed.
sent him a single thing, but that guy, he, really a generous fellow, and doesn't get enough credit.
I actually did text him and say that we were praying for him at great risk to our souls.
Oh my god, who is this guy? I kind of want to watch this guy.
I don't know who that guy. I don't know who any of those people.
I just know Ben Shapiro. I think I see this guy like recommended slightly to me once in a while because I watch a lot of videos. I have some weird recommendations. Let's just say that much. So he comes up once in a while, but I've never watched any of this guy's videos. I've seen a Ben Shapiro video for sure. But this guy I don't know. But this guy really is just like laying it in, and they're all just doing like the uncomfortable laugh, like tell this motherfucker to shut up right now. We're on a live stream. We're not supposed to say this shit in public here.
And if he dies, I personally will kill him. Right?
And yet, according to his wife, this was an elective surgery, really a cosmetic surgery, because Stephen didn't like the way that his chest looked because he had a sunken chest. It was not something that was actually required to save his life. And yet we see that same pattern of behavior. Stephen garnering
so he
a
lied.
ton of
Oh, so he wanted to have a bigger chest.
He lied.
Doesn't he like not like women with like synthetic boobs or something like that? So,
But he's
okay.
not getting anything implanted. They're just moving his.
I don't know
his
who's the
bits
name of the
around.
honest. I don't know who the name of the honest one is, but the honest one is hilarious. That was just funny, like him just like being completely like no. It's like no common sense to say to yourself, yeah, probably shouldn't say that about a man going to surgery.
affection and prayers from his followers purporting to be the victim, when in fact the facts don't line up with his narrative. The second portion that I'd like to point to is where it says Hillary was not aware that Stephen hired a divorce attorney. This stands in stark contrast to what he told his followers when he said how hard divorce was and how difficult and
Oh,
horrific
shit.
it had been, and how he
Hold on.
really didn't want it and just
Hold on. Okay,
I'm
I'll
All right. One moment. Tony's away. He's got a phone call. Hopefully everything's good with Tony, but we'll just wait for him. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Sorry, that was my sister, and I was like, I'm live right now. She's like, okay, bye. I'll call her back later.
Video, I have to find the honest ones afterwards. Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to YouTube.
Texas is a no-fault divorce state. What is the truth here? I don't know. Obviously, right now we have his wife's word versus Stephen's word, but given my personal experience with Stephen, I am very much inclined to believe his wife. Now, I'd like to get in some other portions of this article, which I think are really important. The writer has a bunch of audio files and text messages that were sent to him that he was able to review. He writes, in audio files and text messages that I reviewed, Stephen Crowder admits to some of his faults, which include a volcanic temper, repeatedly and at times regretfully. But according to sources that I spoke to who are familiar with their relationship, Crowder's admissions often came after a sustained period of mental and emotional abuse, and he didn't seem to be able to control his impulses. That, again, is something that I have seen personally. Very bizarre. He would insert me into a divorce announcement and purport that I somehow extorted him. It's very bizarre in the way that he attacked the Daily Wire. And there just seem to be a lot of signs that he is not able to control his emotions. And so the question that I will ask is, how many people are going to allege abuse from Stephen Crowder before we listen?
We're
Before
going
we
to go
stop
through
saying
one.
he's one of us because he says things that he agrees with.
Wait, what did you
We
say?
purport that we are the
We're going to go through one of them.
party of family values. How can you look at that video and defend him in any way? How can you look at that video and not roundly condemn this and say this is not something that actually represents the things that we believe? The writer goes on to say, like so many things in his life in recent years, Crowder's temper and paranoia led him to destroy his relationships with Sir Shapiro, Boring, and others at the Daily Wire when he posted a video on his channel suggesting that the Daily Wire, without naming the company, was attempting to align itself with big tech by mentioning in their initial offer to him that if he was demonetized on social media platforms, that it would reduce his overall compensation. Well, again, going back to the pattern, it's not just the Daily Wire. It's David Landau. It's Sven the Computer. It's Jared Monroe, formerly known as Not Gay Jared, people that are locked into NDAs and are not allowed to speak about the abuse that they endured by Stephen Crowder. It's Owen Benjamin. It's now his wife. Do you believe that all of these various different parties, the majority of them who have never spoken to each other, I've never spoken to Sven the Computer, I've never spoken to David Landau, I've never spoken to Hillary Crowder, I've never spoken to Owen Benjamin. Do you believe that all of these people, as is the paranoid narrative that Stephen Crowder is presenting, are working maybe in collusion with big tech to try to destroy him? Or do you believe it's plausible that Stephen Crowder is just a monster? I personally believe that he is a monster. And that is, by the way, Stephen, if you're watching, I'm not trying to extort you. I am just simply telling the truth. There was a lot of things that are going on. And I am glad that his wife found the strength to speak out. And I'm calling upon everybody to roundly condemn this, to reject this firmly, not to somehow come up with an excuse and say, oh, well, it's a divorce, so we shouldn't talk about it. We should mind our own business. No. The way that we represent ourselves privately and publicly should be the same. If you purport to care about family values, again, then you should care about this situation and you should condemn it. Yashar Ali also added in this article, in reviewing documentary evidence related to their marriage, Stephen Crowder appears to be obsessed with the idea that his wife is only interested in him for money. Hillary Crowder started dating him well before he became famous and wealthy. He was making less than $100,000 a year when they got married. Again, the Crowder narrative never seems to line up with the reality. And on that note, for those of you that are asking for an update, yes, I did send a cease and desist to him regarding his comments that I somehow extorted him. I sent the cease and desist. I heard back from his lawyer.
Whoa, shots fired.
And essentially what I get from this is that his lawyer is saying that this was just his opinion and it was just Stephen Crowder's feelings. And even though it wasn't reality, too bad, so sad. Here's exactly what that legal letter back to me said. I'm going to read you a couple of quotations. It says, the simple fact is that Ms. Owens, as shown in the clip, made thinly veiled threats directed at Mr. Crowder that she would release the alleged dirt she had on him if he kept making statements about the Daily Wire. Mr. Crowder's opinions fall short of any defamation. At most, he has merely opined comparatively the feeling of certain misconduct to his own present state of being. Then the subsequent use of the word threats is not in and of itself an accusation of crime, even within the larger context in which it was used. The most reasonable implication is not an accusation of crime, but that threats have occurred that fall short of being a crime. Again, at most, they are simply reminiscent in Mr. Crowder's personal opinion of the specifically referenced type of misconduct. In short, these are his feelings. They are not facts, and his opinions are protected. And to make it clear for those of you that thought there was something going on in the background or that someone had secretly threatened him, his lawyer is alleging that's not the case. He was simply referring to the exact clip that he showed you of me. Nothing else happened. He just wanted you guys to think that he was under duress in some other capacity. In short, as I have said, I believe Steven Crowder is an absolute monster, and I encourage all of the other people that he has victimized to find their strength to speak out now. By the way, his lawyer offered to me that we could both agree to a ceasefire if I agreed that I would never speak about Steven Crowder again. And to him, I would publicly like to say, your client doesn't have that kind of money to keep Candace Owens from speaking out about things that I find to be absolutely despicable. And that, again,
Well,
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Holy fuck. All right, next is Steven Crowder exposed himself at work, ex-staffers say.
what do you mean exposed? You mean
Uh,
like his
meaning-
doodle?
Yes, and he put his penis on Not Gay Jared while he was sleeping.
Wow, frat boy mentality.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me see. Okay, so this is a story right here. In March 2018, Crowder and his crew were driving in a van when a former producer he liked to call Not Gay Jared fell asleep in the back row. Quote, Steven was in front and he was joking about what he was going to do, end quote. A witness said, quote, he climbed over and dropped his junk on top of Jared's shoulder, end quote. The same ex-staffer recalled that Crowder had exposed himself to Jared in 2017 while they were filming a parody version of Ghost. And on a flight in 2018, a different employee claims they saw Crowder put his testicles on his childhood friend assistant John Goodman. Another employee remembered that the Crowder had shown his genitalias to Dave Ladeau, and a comedian and former co-host who called Crowder, quote, a bully, end quote, last week. Ladeau claimed that Crowder installed a, quote, Dave don't talk button on the show to get him to be quiet on air, end quote. At first, I took it as him trying to be friendly or one of the guys, quote, said an ex-staffer. Now I see it was a power play. Sounds familiar.
Mhm.
What do you think about that so far?
I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, well, my guess is that he wanted a bigger chest. Because he lifts weights a lot, so whatever.
He does have an ego. Someone needs to go digging and find out what the surgery. Yeah, I think it was a cosmetic surgery. I think
Yeah.
the blood flow and all that other stuff. I don't think it was right, because if it was that bad, it wouldn't be called. It wouldn't be.
I think he just
immortal.
wanted to have like a big manly chest type of deal. I don't know.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
which is fine, but
I mean, would you miss the birth of your twin children for it?
no, I would delay it. Do you get what I'm saying?
I was like,
mean,
no,
if you want the surgery, have the surgery, but plan it a little bit better. Like, okay, do your thing, but don't give us, a pile of shit and say it's gold.
Okay.
don't lie.
Crowder allegedly sent production assistants to do his laundry and could be, quote, unreasonable micromanager, end quote, who would make wild requests after hours to, quote, set people up for failure, end quote. Sounds familiar. Ex-staffers claimed that he would, quote, regularly berate his team and threaten to fire people on the company's Discord channel. He even went after his own father, Darian Crowder, per one source, who claimed that Crowder would yell at his dad in front of employees when Darren was working on his son's Booker. Darren did not respond to post requests for comments, obviously, because, quote, I'm not shocked, but it's pathetic what he did to Hillary, a former employee said regarding the video of Crowder yelling at his pregnant wife. Quote, that might not be the Steven you see on his show, but that was the real Steven, end quote. Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy. This guy's putting his penis on people and a person and then proceeds to show his penis to multiple people. I don't know why would anyone want to show their penis to people who they're not sleeping with. Seems a little odd to me.
But that's the thing, like unsolicited dick pics and shit. Like I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, actually this is like one level below that because at least you're trying to sleep with those people. I guess it's like a form of impressing people on the internet these days. But he just did it to his team that worked for him. Imagine, like, I wouldn't, number one, if I worked for Steven Crowder and he showed me his penis, first off, I would quit. But if I did stay, I would never take this man seriously ever again. I'd be like,
No.
man, you just basically showed me your penis. I mean, like, I have no respect for you, mister. You acted like a child. Like, we're not 10 years old. You're supposed to be the leader of this, like, multi-million-dollar corporation and supposed to be, like, the guy who's going to tell us the right way how America should be. And you literally put your penis on a guy named Not Gay Jared. Okay. Okay, mister. That's what I thought, you, Tim. I just looked at his arms and chest and had to be adaptive. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. No to the team. Yeah, and he has a company Discord. Like, bro, you're a multi-million-dollar corporation. Why are you on Discord? Like, okay. They have to be on Discord. Like, you're like making like $15 million a year, or maybe more. Maybe he's making like 20 or something $million a year.
Sometimes I wonder if these big corporations that do use Discord, which are a lot of them do, but I sometimes wonder if they're like, we should use Discord because the kids use it and it's the thing right now.
Oh my God, Steven. No, Steven.
We'll be
no.
relatable. We'll be relatable if we, no, don't do that.
Yeah. What a crazy set. Oh man.
Mind you, I have nothing against Discord. I use it all the time. So it's just, I think big corporations or somebody who's self-managing, like a big YouTuber, like him in his particular field, should not use Discord for managing his company.
Probably should be showing his penis to his employees, nor berating his pregnant wife and missing the birth of their children.
The penis thing, though. It's kind of like, do I really need to tell you not to show me your penis?
Yeah.
The last guy who tried to show me his penis, I set his pubic hair on fire. That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get if you start throwing your doodle around.
Okay, so
just looked at his arms. I didn't see like when I saw it, he wears tight shirts. Like
yeah, I
can't
can't stand
his chest.
Yeah, I can't stand tight shirts, to be honest with you, man. I need comfortable shirts. Fuck that shit. I don't want to be in tight shirts. I don't know why anyone would want to be in tight shirts, to be honest with you.
I don't. Well, that's what's in tight shirts and tight pants. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. Let me see. I think there's another video.
There is. Abusive Steven Crowder flashes staff his doodle regularly. The Kyle Kluklik, I butchered his name, show. It's just new. It came out yesterday. So yeah, the people are talking.
Yeah, they're talking. I mean, like, the thing is, you got to realize is that people on the left are going to pick up the story, obviously, because he's a huge right-wing commentary channel on YouTube, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I didn't even know he existed until that video leaked, and then it blew up.
I mean, like, the reason why I didn't really jump on it too much, because, divorces are pretty fucking messy, so I just wanted to say, like, see what the fuck the situation is. I'm glad I waited. It seems like the guy's a very controlling piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. But this divorce definitely seems like people always are like, ooh, divorce is bad. That's bad. No, sometimes it can be glorious. It's what you, but that's the thing too. If you and your partner, especially if you're on the same page of things, and you just look at each other and you're like, oh, this is bad. Like, we need to stop now. Like, that's great. Get a divorce. Start your life over.
You know what? Another thing is that gets me like, because I was watching. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna have to put on the Young Turks a little bit because they've been douchebags.
You don't like them. You used to like them, didn't you?
Nah, I never liked those pieces of shit. You know how he got the name Young Turks is because, like, the guy's a scumbag, but I'll have to get. That's another subject entirely.
I thought Turks was a derogatory word for.
More former.
I would have to pull it up, but yeah, it's not good. So, I mean, like, I wish they didn't block out the channel in which they took the clip from. That would be nice, bro. next time and actually put the actual like link to the channel that you're going to do a clip of. But whatever. I guess we won't do the same for you.
Podcast.
Yeah, they
That's
purposely.
theirs, right?
Yeah, this is someone else's podcast. They grabbed the clip from their podcast. They purposely covered the name of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
And then they don't put the link in the description. Nice work, Young Turks.
Oh, that's
But anyway,
shitty.
we're gonna play this video because this is actually I can't find the actual fucking clip. Next time, Young Turks, how about not block out their channel name and actually give them a link to the description where the podcast was. Just
Yeah.
saying.
That there is Don't Talk Light, and what was your reaction?
I was pissed a bit because I know my job. I
Right.
know that he talks a lot. I know that he's the star of the show. I know when to throw him
This is not Gay Jared, by the way.
what he needs to be thrown. I know when to sit back. It's what I did with Anthony for years. It's what I did next to Artie. It's what it's what I do. I'm not trying to ever steamroll him.
Right.
It was just, hey, don't be funnier. Don't be, and that's the truth. I mean, it sounds bitter, but I knew it was true because I was pulled aside and I said it, and it was, hey, make sure if you're doing a rant or like you guys are riffing, he gets the last word.
You were told this explicitly?
Yes. It was all about the title and I wasn't respecting it. So there needed to be a light. And I had to make sure that, he got the last thing. So even if I did have a funnier joke, I would just leave it out. It was important for the fans to not hear it. I always felt that my job as a comedian was to leave out the good one. I have heard of it where it's just the star needs to look like the star. So
Okay.
I guess, it's his show, fine. But I also feel like somebody who's so pro free speech and non-censorship, he was really about censorship.
So that was Dave Landau,
Oh, that was Dave Landau. Okay.
his former co-host. I'm mixing up his first name with
I thought it was Gay Jared for a moment. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Anyway, let me see. That's not right. Yeah, the guy seems to be a real fucking piece of shit. I don't know. Very controlling. What do you think of all this? Like all this stuff being talked about him?
There's a part of me that goes, some of this stuff does, like it is kind of private as well. But did they say why the wife leaked it? Like, did she was just like, I want you guys to see what I was going through.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
But another part of me goes, oh, at least we know. Like at least we know, because it's this big conservative guy who shouts out a lot of stupid shit. And I had a text message. But now we know, how not to treat your wife.
Yeah.
Your pregnant wife with twins.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just crazy. It really is crazy. I just think like the guy is a very controlling person. And he just thinks it's a funny thing. I don't know.
Oh, my mom. May the 4th be with you. Only my mom.
Oh, 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Oh, it is the 4th. See? No concept.
She got you. She got you.
Whatsoever. She's probably watching Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say, like, divorces could be rough and all that stuff, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it seems like he's very controlling. He gets a high temper. I said temperature. I think I've been watching too much Tragedy Pimp on the program. I'm not being able to speak. He has a very, very fucking quick temper. He doesn't control his emotions. He's very controlling of people. He's controlling of everything around him. That's not good. And I don't know. Hopefully he learns from this, and hopefully he doesn't actually release the documentations of the lawsuit of the divorce, because he talked about it. He talked about how he's going to release all the information about the divorce.
Why though?
Because he wants to prove a point.
But did I miss the point? You're still a horrible person, no matter if you show it or not. You talk to your wife degradingly. You made your pregnant wife feel like she was literally trying to diffuse the whole entire thing and calm you down, being loving and caring and trying to understand, but yet was fucking fed up with your shit, and you acted like an animal. that's it.
Yeah.
His wife is super private and not in the public. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, she's the one who leaked the video now, right?
One moment.
We don't know,
I'm just trying to look for a video. One moment, and just give me a second.
but either way, yeah.
Let me just see. She's a very private person, but yeah, let me see. But yeah, the thing's very sad about the whole thing.
No woman deserves to be treated like that. She's
Yeah.
given birth to twins. Well, she already gave birth, but can you imagine that? The pain? How, pregnant women with just one baby, it's stressful. Imagine carrying two, and he's just adding and adding. Like, yeah. It's crazy. I will never sit here and I cannot imagine giving birth to a child whatsoever. I'm a guy, so I have no idea, but I respect it because that is painful. We all saw that video in high school, right? Like, that is I don't want to fuck with women. Y'all can deal with that. My lord. Maybe if she released this video, he likes to defend him with all that, but not good because the kids internet never will forget. Well, yeah, that's the thing. In the long run, yes, it's going to affect the kids in the long run, but it's going to be a dead issue. Do you get what I'm saying? But you still got to think about the kids, but there's a rhyme and reason for everything. There's a rhyme and reason. So she did this, and there had to have been a reason. We don't know, besides the obvious of her making a point. Maybe it was a little bit of revenge. I mean, look at what she had to do.
I don't know, man. I don't want to get into it.
These are speculations, obviously.
Mhm.
But we have like I said before, we have no idea. She had a C-section, and he wasn't even there. Yeah, I know. That's shitty. Exactly. I have no idea. But people do think there's always a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. But fucked up situation.
Oh, she leaked the video because she was getting major backlash. I can understand that too, because I think Sticky made a good point earlier in the live that we should be more worried about his fans going after her for this, because there are some stands out there that would go die hard for and people say disgusting stuff online all the time because they're protected behind a screen.
Well, they say things because it's like they think no one's going to see it.
Yeah. They're protected. I was married to a rich and powerful man. I'd feel the need to get a behavior. Right. It's just crazy. But this is the thing too. He's not the only one. There's a lot of and there's a lot of women out there too that act this way as well. It does go both ways. It's just he's the highlight of it all because of his name, which I didn't even know he existed until like a week ago when this was leaked, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fucked. It's pretty fucked, man.
Did you
I got
found the video?
No, I was just looking for something there.
Okay.
Document. It got too horrible nowadays. It's taped out, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much the situation. I think we're probably going to see more drama with this whole situation, but it's pretty fucked. It is pretty fucked.
He'll be a sleaze. He's going to be a sleazeball, and if he releases those documents,
I hope he just leaves it and just fucking walks away. To be honest with you, but
exactly, Kim. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. Women can be just as grimy too, but in this story, it was him. I do mean, if I was being abused and trying to get away, you need rock solid proof. Yeah, I think her putting it out there showed the abuse to everyone just because she isn't walking around with bruises. Exactly, that's the thing too. Most people are like, well, she wasn't hit, like it wasn't physical. I was like, reading the comments on TikTok, I was kind of like, do you people know that bruises do heal? Like there's shock no matter what. There's going to be PTSD no matter what. But mental abuse is just the same level as physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to lessen someone's trauma. That's horrible. Don't.
All right, so I got the clip where he says his whole filing of motions from another channel. I don't watch the channel, but it's just like a lefty channel, but I don't watch.
But also
the majority's this channel here. I'll put the link in the description if anyone wants to go to the channel. They want to check it out. There you go. Links in there. All right, so we'll just go to the clip where they found, because I've been trying to look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's play it.
Ooh.
On Tuesday, requesting privacy in the best interest of the family, but also by court order agreed upon by all parties. Look, broken marriages are ugly, and in them people do ugly things. Myself, of course, included. I would never claim otherwise. However, due to recent misleadingly edited leaks to the tabloid press without context and not subject to consequences of the court, well, if not privacy, the next best option is truth. So today, I have filed a motion to officially unseal all files as they relate to the matter of legal record, finances, relevant medical records, including mental health history or evaluations, depositions, and any motions or sanctions from the courts of Texas. I will not be leaking private marital information to the press. But if the privacy agreements are not respected by all parties, I will address all that is a matter of irrefutable legal record in full context next week.
That seems like a threat.
Yeah, that's a threat.
That seems like a threat. He's not looking good on either side, and even when he's about to say something good, he ends it with something so stupid.
Yeah. Holy fuck, man. Way to fucking stumble. Yeah, I mean, what do you think of the whole thing?
I think that he's an asshole. He's getting what he deserves, and that is the divorce, mind you. I wish his ex-wife the best in life. I hope his babies are healthy and strong, and everybody just lives a wonderful life. But I think he needs to self-reflect, get some help, because it's going to be 10 times worse with the next girlfriend. Because it never really gets better. It just gets worse and worse, and it could escalate. And this is literally statistics when it comes to narcissistic or abusive, verbally abusive relationships. It grows. You need to get help.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the Steven Crowder. There's one thing I just want to talk on a side tangent. Did you hear about the whole 10-year-olds found working in Louisville McDonald's?
What? No, is this new?
Yeah, this is new.
No idea, but I did notice on TikTok there was a lot of McDonald's ads promoting, we learn this, we do this, and I'm kind of like, why are they? Maybe that's why.
Little kids up in here working the drive-thru.
Well, take a look at this video. We discovered it, WHS 11 News, right here last year. It shows a child behind the counter working at a Louisville McDonald's. Today, we now know that it's a 10-year-old child. And the U.S. Department of Labor found this is not the only 10-year-old who worked there. Sometimes those kids were working as late as 2 o'clock in the morning. And now that store, along with 2 other owners, are being fined a total of $212,000. WHS 11's Alexis Jones first reported on the video of the child workers at a Louisville McDonald's last year, and now the consequences.
It's been a few months since I last visited the McDonald's here on Taylor Boulevard. Then owner Bauer Foods LLC said the children working behind the counter.
Yeah, in the U.S.
But
yes, the 10-year-olds are working in the U.S. Yeah, yes. You have this happening.
I wonder what the story is.
Labor Department say otherwise.
They got little kids up in here working the drive-thru.
The viral video that's still shocking to watch.
This is ridiculous, and wonder why the line's wrapped around because I got these little kids up in this mother.
What? It's like your concern is like 2 o'clock. It's like, I'm not getting my McDonald's fast enough. These little kids working here not working fast enough for my McDonald's. Like, not that the safety of these children working near fucking boiling grease or whatever. Okay, yeah.
Customer Nathan Pitts pulled up to a window at the McDonald's in August. Pitts and his girlfriend say they were disgusted to find 2 children taking and making orders around midnight. We blur the kids' faces to protect their identity. Pitts
Thank
says
you.
they looked as young as 10 years old.
The fact that these kids just handed me my drinks is me off.
In a statement, Bauer Foods LLC said, quote, "We are aware of the incident and can confirm the minors shown in the video are not employees of the restaurant. They are children of some of our employees." However, according to the Labor Department findings, the 2 children were employed and sometimes worked as late as 2 in the morning. The investigation also shows they prepared food orders, cleaned the store, worked the drive-thru, and operated a deep fryer.
There's 24 minors under the age of 16 to work. What's the age to work there? Like, I know here in Boston, I don't know if it's changed, but we were allowed to work as 14-year-olds, but we needed work papers from our high school, and the hours
Well, it's
could not
just-
conflict the high school.
Yeah, let's just say it's probably not legal there. But it says Louisville-based operator of 10 McDonald's location employed 24 minors under the age of 16 to work more than legally permitted hours. These children sometimes work more hours a day or week than the law permits, whether or not school is in session. Investigators also determined 2 10-year-old children were employed but not paid and sometimes worked as late as 2 a.m. Below the minimum wage for employment, and they prepared and distributed food orders, cleaned the store, worked on the drive-thru window, operated a register. The division also learned that one of the 2 children was allowed to operate a deep fryer. Holy fuck.
They prepared food orders, cleaned the store, worked the drive-thru, and operated a deep fryer.
This is the one that was most egregious to me because that's a terrible work safety violation.
Labor attorney Adam Johnson says kids must be over 14 years old to work at a
Yeah,
restaurant.
see,
you got it right.
Yeah.
Even if they are 14, they can't use certain equipment or work
Exactly.
past 7 p.m. Though the Taylor Boulevard location has to pay more than $39,000 for violations, Johnson says that's not enough.
A business is not going to learn anything by being slapped on the wrist for $39,000.
Johnson says the state should increase the fine, allow private attorneys to sue the owner, and provide more oversight so no other child is exploited.
This is a case of a business needing to be told what they can and cannot do. And the only way that ever comes about is more robust enforcement and more people feeling comfortable with asserting their rights.
In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHS 11 on your side.
That's crazy, man. I heard that story. I was like, from like Breaking Points, and I was like, whoa, are you serious?
It's fucking crazy. Oh, Ed Sheeran did not infringe on the copyright. I know everybody was going crazy about that.
So let's just watch one more thing, like the Breaking Points one, and we'll end it. You know what I mean? We're pretty much close. But I just wanted to talk about the 10-year-olds working. I thought that was interesting. Like how this country's going backwards now in our child labor
There's
laws.
a new shock.
It's great. This country's really going forward.
10-year-olds were working unpaid shifts at a McDonald's restaurant. This is just as horrifying as it sounds. According to CBS News, officials said the children were not paid, yet sometimes worked as late as 2 a.m. And they, quote, prepared and distributed food orders, cleaned the store, worked at the drive-thru window, and operated a register. Investigators learned that one of the 2 children was allowed to operate a deep fryer. That is a prohibited task for workers under the age of 16. Now, there's a good reason kids under 16 are barred from working the deep fryer. It's really dangerous. Just a year ago, a 15-year-old in Tennessee suffered hot oil burns while working the deep fryer at a different McDonald's. Now, the owner of this offending McDonald's, Bauer LLC, claimed no awareness of the fact that 10-year-olds were working the register, manning the drive-thru, and operating the deep fryer. Owner Sean Bauer told CBS News the kids were not approved to be in that part of the restaurant and that they were there at the direction of and in the presence of their parents. But this is far from the first child labor law violation from Mr. Bauer's company. They were hit with a $40,000 assessment after the Department of Labor found they had 24 kids under 16 working longer than approved hours. Nor is this a problem confined to this one McDonald's franchisees. There are 3 McDonald's franchisees, which combined operate 62 McDonald's, that were found to have worked 305 children longer than the allowable hours. Now, This is part of a larger trend, which through new laws and violations of existing laws is working to roll back a century's worth of child labor protections. According to the Economic Policy Institute, the number of child labor law violations has skyrocketed over 200% since 2015, and we have seen a 37% increase just year over year. A recent investigation found kids aged 13 to 17 employed by a meatpacking sanitation company. These kids were forced to clean back saws, brisket saws, and head splitters at meatpacking plants owned by some of the top names in big food in this country.
Whoa! What the fuck?
No. See?
Oh, whoa!
New York Times recently published a heartbreaking report on the way undocumented kids are being funneled into a nationwide network of effectively indentured servitude, exploited for low wages.
Arriving in the record numbers, they're ending up in dangerous jobs that violate child labor laws, including factories that make products for well-known brands like Cheetos and Fruit of the Loom.
Wages, backbreaking labor, and horrifying conditions, all because their youth and immigration status make them easy prey. Just as disturbing is the successful industry lobbying effort to make some of these harmful practices perfectly legal. This year alone, 8 bills have been pushed in 6 different states to roll back child labor restrictions. Arkansas made headlines when Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed a law repealing restrictions on 14 and 15-year-olds.
Wow, those kids look fucking horrified, to be honest with you. That does not look like a good picture.
No, they are not happy.
Like, that looks horrible. Like, who thought this was a good picture? Like, all these, like, kind of ghoulish people smiling, and these 3 children look like they're so fucking... Especially this little girl. They look so stressed out. Like, oh my God. Like, who is your fucking publicist, people? Like, this is bad. We're helping, you know.
As a group of children appearing rather bereft looked on. We covered recently how Iowa has gone even further. A newly signed law brings us straight back to Dickens, with young teens working on assembly lines, in meat coolers, in construction, and in industrial laundries. And to circle back here to McDonald's illegally employing literal 10-year-olds, one of the main drivers behind these changes is the powerful National Restaurant Association, a giant lobby for big food interests, including McDonald's. More Perfect Union basically got one of their lobbyists to admit that they wrote the draconian Iowa bill. The timing of this push to get kids into meat lockers and handling deep fryers, by the way, is no accident. For my entire life, employers had the upper hand with workers in every single way. They could treat them as disposable, they could crush any fledgling union attempts, they could steal their wages, and they could pay them very little. Well, a lot of this is still going on, but now workers are starting to get a modicum of power back. Unemployment is low, labor market is tight. That gives individual workers more power on their own, since they can leave an abusive, low-paying, or exploitative jobs with a higher level of confidence that they will be able to find something else. In fact, even as inflation continues to bite, there are some decently encouraging things happening for the lowest wage workers. A working paper from the National Bureau of Economic Research finds that wages are rising quickest for the lowest paid workers, and this trend has actually reduced inequality. That's a phrase I have not heard in my entire life. This trend has also shrunk the college wage premium. Retailers like Target and Walmart have been forced to hike wages in order to retain or attract the workers that they need to staff their stores. And obviously, they're not doing all of this out of the goodness of their hearts. But rather than have to raise wages, big business would rather maintain their record-breaking profit margins and just find cheaper and more vulnerable labor. And that, of course, is where the kids...
Let me see. Someone said something. I figured they would try this terrible. This needs to be stopped. Kids need to be kids. Absolutely. Jasmina says, now I really ask myself, how could my parents allow this, but were others times 30 years ago? Yeah, those were definitely different days compared to now. I don't think kids these days have the ability to add work as we used to, for sure. Yeah, well, the thing is that my understanding of, like, when it comes to children can't really, like, negotiate for their wages. They're children. They don't have the ability to go to McDonald's, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and negotiate for proper wages or when to work and stuff like that. That's the thing. It's like it's not a fair exchange. It's not fair, a negotiation. Like, if you're an adult, you have an adult brain, you can go somewhere else. When you're a kid, you don't have that. Like, you can't negotiate. You can't negotiate your pay or anything. It's just unfair.
I just don't understand why this country won't let kids be kids. It's not just, the job thing. It's also like, we're not helping them be kids, be adventurous, be, trying to find themselves. they're working now. There was the incident of a 10 no t- she was 11 years old, and she was,
Sorry, I dropped my phone.
are you okay?
No, I dropped my phone.
Okay. There was an 11-year-old who, was, sexually abused, and she was pregnant, and they were like, the whole, everybody was like, well, she has to have the baby. She's a baby. You know what I mean? Or kids who are trying to find themselves, and your son wants to be a Disney princess for Halloween. Let him be the Disney princess for Halloween. Let kids be fucking kids. Stop this shit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I just said like that's crazy, but yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share that a little bit. I just can't believe this country's going fucking walking back, and now we're gonna have children like they were trying to pull back child labor laws. That's great. That's fantastic. Really great. They can't get the machines fast enough to replace people's jobs, so now they're getting children. That's great. But anyway, thanks guys for. Sorry about the ouch for your earphones, guys. My bad. I dropped it on the fucking metal thing on the bottom. But anyway. You guys, I mean, I'm pretty much done. Is there anything you want to add?
No, thank y'all for watching, and I do appreciate y'all tuning in and stuff. And yeah, we will be back Monday with something. I don't know what, but we'll be back hopefully Monday. Knock on wood. Y'all just keep safe out there. That's all I ask. Y'all just keep safe, and thank you again for watching.
All right, guys. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.